So, as is hopefully no one's surprised, we're going to be doing the STL for your lab. This one, I give you a program that does not work, and your job is to fix it.
Awesome.
Where's that program? Well,
GitHub?
yeah, it's on GitHub under Lab 17. You can run make, which compiles it and runs it. Oh, it's a seg fault. So it immediately seg faults right off the bat.
Yay!
Yeah, everyone's favorite thing.
Best.
It's the best. All right, this time I am putting STDs in my namespace. All right, so one thing before I begin, in order to demonstrate certain characteristics performance-wise, maybe not so much performance-wise, but characteristics of the STL, I wanted to come up with my own class in order to show you that a lot of these projects, since you're templating them, can work on other objects besides what you're used to and the primitives. So I created a student class that has a student ID, a name, and then 10 kilobytes for data, just under. You can call ID in order to get the name, the ID. You can set the ID. You can print and you can set the name and get the name. Now, very, very important. Make sure your code never calls set ID or set name. That would be cheating. Do not do that. I put that there just so I can make the code small and easier to read and not super complicated. All right. So the backup and the names are just so we can have something to start with. So first off, I create a vector of integers. And what you do is use and insert out of the vector class to get the integers from the backup copied into the vector, and should be done in one specific insert call, but make a loop if you have to. That way, when it prints the vector, it'll actually be sorted, and there'll be 10 of them. By the way, this is why you get a seg fault, because right now I'm going up to 10, but vector doesn't have anything in it. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's unsorted. Unsorted. Should be done one insert call or multiple if you want to, but it should be able to print 10 unsorted vectors, or integers, sorry, which are these integers up here. Cool. Then call sort using STL sort method. That's a function. It's one call. You can do it. Then it should be sorted afterwards. What sorting routine do you think they do on a vector?
I'm gonna go with merge.
They do that on lists.
Dang it.
Good.
Quick sort.
That was definitely a better guess than whoever just said bubble.
Oh man. It's so easy to do.
Bubble sort.
Bubble sort. They do quick sort. They do quick sort. All right. Now I create an array of 10 students. I print them as unsorted studs. And then I want you to sort it using STL sort. You'll need a predicate function. What's a predicate function? That's that whole functor thing I was talking to you about beforehand, so you need to set that up so you can pass it to sort, so it sorts it, the students. What am I sorting upon? Ooh, that's a good question. I'll let you decide whether to sort by the names or by the IDs.
You get to choose?
Yes, because I have to grade this one by hand, which makes me sad. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh well. I reset him back. So now, one thing to keep in mind, or one thing about sorting, is whenever it swaps, it copies the entire student object. So this one's 10 kilobytes, but if it was a meg or a gigabyte, then copying one student to another would take a very long time. So we want to come up with a better way to do that. What's a better way to do it when each of your objects takes up a lot of time? Well, you can declare an array of pointers to students. This should start looking familiar. Name it the PS array. Whew. Initialize the elements so they point to each content or each element of the student array. So you're getting a vector of student pointers, and you push a pointer to it that points to each student. because a pointer only takes up 8 bytes. Now call the STL sort on the pointers, the pointer array, student pointer array. You will have to create another predicate function because now you need to operate on student pointers and not regular pointers. When you do it correctly, this should print out the pointer student array, so you can uncomment this and make sure you're doing it right. And then lastly, figure out how to store the S array based on the results of the pointer, the student pointer array. And afterwards, you should be able to print the regular students. And this should be done in O of n time. You are allowed to create temporaries, so keep that in mind. But it should be O of n solution. All right, this time create another array of pointers to students. Again, that points to the student's name and the array. Call it, the array PSN. Then sort just the pointers in descending from A to Z, alphabetical order of student's name. And then print that out, and that should be it. And you're done. All right, any questions? Nothing? All right, well, I'll let y'all get to it. Don't forget your ethics paper due tonight. And, oh yeah, project 2 is already done. Great, so I can start grading project 2.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments, screens? All right. Well, if not, then please have a good weekend.